And here's the problem, isn't it? Change is a challenge. Change is not comfortable. All of you have taken a seat in this room today, and when you have a break, when you go for coffee, when you go for lunch, you will come back and you will sit in the same seat, because that's the way we are conditioned. The moment we take ownership of something, we tend to return to the place of comfort. But success in this business is not comfortable either. Read any book by Richard Branson, Steve Jobs. They talk about discomfort more than they talk about comfort. So the problem for many of us is moving from one place to another in life. Now, I mentioned earlier how many of you were, when you were born, how many of you could walk, talk, swim, ride a bicycle? But you all could. You all could. I've seen you walk in this auditorium today. I've seen you have a conversation. Here's the thing. Two things had to happen for you to turn a natural ability, for you all had a natural ability to walk, talk, swim, and ride a bicycle when you were born, but something else had to happen. Natural ability, but someone had to show you how to do it, didn't they? And once someone, typically your mother and father, once they showed you, for example, how to put one foot in front of another and maintain balance, you thought, wow, this is a much more effective way than the way I was doing it before. And what was the next thing you did? What was the next thing you did? You practiced, right? You kept persevering. You kept trying the same thing over and over again. Folks, the first time you ever tried to walk, did it work? No. Did it work the second time, or the third, or the fourth? No. Maybe 50, 60, 100 times. It probably took you a year to learn how to walk. But in your mind, no little voice, so you just kept going. Now here's the thing. I'm about to share with you some ideas that will help you reach TOT, or beyond, if you're already there. But if you do not practice, if you do not apply, if you do not put into action what you learn, nothing will change. Every one of us is equipped to be TOT in this room. The ones who achieve it are simply the ones who practice the most. That's why they have full diaries. It's why they have higher net worth clients. It's why they speak to more people, because they practice the most. They're not brighter. They don't have a greater education. They're not younger, older, work for a better insurance company, sell cheaper premiums. They practice the most because they take positive action. But change is uncomfortable. I understand that. It took me 2 years to change. But here's what I know about change. It's really simple when you know how. So here's what we're going to do. MDRT Malaysia. First thing in the morning on Saturday, we are going to all put our hands together like this. Okay? Just clasp your fingers and your thumbs together. Now what I would like you to notice is which one of the thumbs is on the top. Now half of you, it will be the left thumb, and half of you, it will be the right thumb. I know this because I'm going to ask you now to raise your hand if you are the right thumb on the top. Right thumb on the top. Okay, great. And now left thumb on the top. Okay, 50-50, more or less. Now here's why I know it's always 50-50. Because the first time you ever did this, when you were a little boy or a little girl, maybe around 3 months, 4 months old, for some moment, for some reason, you just put your hands together like this. That's what happened. Like tossing a coin, heads or tails. Nothing to do with left-handed, right-handed. It was just random. Now, I'm going to ask you to put your hands back together again, just like before. This time, please open your fingers and thumbs, move your palms in opposite directions, and close your fingers and thumbs. Uncomfortable, right? Let me tell you why it's uncomfortable. Because you've never done it this way before. You haven't. So now I'm going to ask you to go back to this position. Oh, that's better, right? Nice and comfortable. Here's what we're going to do for 30 seconds. Backwards and forwards. Backwards and forwards. Backwards and forwards. And keep going until I tell you to stop. And when I tell you to stop, I would like you to go to the uncomfortable position. Okay, the one from before. The uncomfortable position when I say stop. Are your fingers aching yet? When I say stop, to the uncomfortable position, okay? All I want you to do is to tell me if it's more or less comfortable than the first time you tried. Okay? Are you ready? Stop. Second position, uncomfortable position. More or less comfortable than the first time you tried. A little less. Some of you more, some of you less, but a little less. Here's the thing. When you get a great idea today, you need to take that idea and practice for as long as it takes to feel comfortable. If I share an idea, objection handling, for example, and you wait to practice until you're in front of a client, guess what will happen? Nothing. You will not have the confidence to execute it well. It doesn't work, so you think, I'm not going to do that anymore. Change is uncomfortable, but if you are really serious about success, you have to be prepared to move from one place to another by practicing, because you have the ability. Many years ago, when I joined this business, I was told by my first sales trainer that when I met a prospect for the first time, I had to break the ice. Ever heard that one before? And I walked into someone's house and I would look around and go, lovely photograph on the mantelpiece. Children, golf clubs. Do you play golf? Nice car. It was just idle chat. There was no reason for me to speak to them about these things. Here's what I learned. To be successful in this business, we have to stop allowing our clients to dominate, to control the relationship. Here's how you do it in one simple step. When you meet a prospect for the first time, before you start the fact-find meeting, this is how I suggest, respectfully, you open the meeting. Mr. or Mrs. Prospect, there are two reasons we are meeting today. The first reason is for us to decide whether we like, trust, and can work with each other. Okay? Please remember what I just said. It is for us to decide whether we like, trust, and can work with each other. What I am telling my prospect is, it is not their job to hire or fire me. It is my job to hire and fire them too. In other words, we have an equal understanding, an equal relationship. It sows a seed in their minds subconsciously that you have the ability to walk away if you choose. That is very important. For reasons I still do not know, over the many years that life insurance has existed, for some reason we are the only professional people who think we have to be a servant to our clients. Now, morally, spiritually, financially, yes. But on an equal human-to-human basis, no. There must be an equal level playing field. The second reason we are meeting today is for me to see if I can help you. At the moment, I don't know if I can help you, but I will fill in a fact find, whatever you call it, and I will gather information, and then I will be able to tell you how I might be able to help you. But Mr. or Mrs. Prospect, please remember, this is very important, please remember that the quality of advice I give you is based entirely on the quality of information you give to me. Let me repeat that. The quality of advice I give you is based entirely on the quality of information you give to me. Now, by saying that, I hand accountability to my prospect. I've been in this business for 30 years. I have never had a prospect say, I don't want to give you this information. It's too personal. Because I just take them to the first meeting. Do you remember we agreed that the quality of advice I give you is based on the quality of information you give to me? And when I make my prospect accountable for the advice, the other benefit is the client never complains about the advice. 30 years in this business, and I'm very proud of the fact that I have never received a client complaint. and it's to do with positioning at the first meeting.